die. All right.
Okay. Take two.
Take two. Hey guys!
Hey guys.
Welcome back.
All right, we're here and it is episode 36.
Episode 36.
All right, so we haven't been here in a while because we've been showing you all of our highlights from our vacation. I mean, my vacation. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it, but we're kind of like really needing to discuss some things that happened because this was the trip that kind of just like, it was crazy because everything was different.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad that we had some extra days on this trip. We weren't planning on going to the parks for a whole bunch of days. We ended up going 3 days.
Yeah.
We only
really thought that it was only going to be one day.
We only planned 2, but then Tim bought the tickets and he's like, well, we're going 3 days. So, gosh, I wasn't going to complain. But it kind of was different. It just, they are switching some stuff up at the parks. And and it really affects some families it doesn't. It affected ours tremendously. And so I feel like we needed to talk about it. It's definitely something that's going on with a lot of you out there. And so we want to kind of just give our take about it.
So what we're actually talking about is the DAS, which is the Disability Access System.
Yeah.
System. So the service, the Disability Access Service. So previously to recently, and we mentioned previously. Whatever, you guys know I don't do good with words. But what you had previously encountered, if you went to Disney and you had a family loved one or you yourself had a disability, you would go to guest relations and you would get a disability access service card. And it was just like a piece of paper. It didn't have a horrible bunch of information about you on it. Definitely didn't have your picture on it.
No.
And it was simple to get and use for those that needed it. Unfortunately, as you've been hearing, I think it's kind of starting to blow over a little bit, but as you have been hearing in the news, is people took advantage of that, which they're going to do with everything, unfortunately. And so those few bad apples have kind of ruined everybody else. So what we want to talk about today is the changes they've made, and we were really worried and kind of scared of what this meant for our family because we have 2 people in our family who definitely need it. It's not, we just, we don't want to. We need it. Our mother has,
an amputee.
Yeah, she's an amputee and she doesn't have all of her foot and can't walk, long distance. We'll get into that later, how this is going to affect like her, but even my brother-in-law can't stand in the sun with his, with the disease that he has. So there's a lot of changes in our family that we were really worried about. So we wanted to bring it to you because we know there's lots of you out there that are in the same boat.
So what usually happens is we go to whatever park we go to first. My husband is a disabled veteran, and he has several different disabilities that happened to him while he was in the military. And part of it is that he has a disease on his head to where direct sunlight affects it. They've destroyed his legs and knees. And so they have gone in. So usually what happens, we go straight to the park and he goes into guest services. He gets his disability pass and that helps throughout the day. Now, there has been times where he's had to get a scooter or he's had to get a wheelchair. And so, we're used to accommodating whatever he needs so we can all enjoy the park. Disney has been amazing up to this point with this, with our situation with my husband. So I'm just going to talk about him right now. But this time was different. We went to the very first park and they told him, you absolutely qualify for nothing. They said, what is your disability?
Which, whoa, just whoa, not cool.
And that kind of threw him off. And we were like, okay. And they said, I'm sorry. They told him that, and he proceeded to tell him the different things that was going on with that he has, his disabilities. And they said, well, at each of the rides, they have a wheelchair. You will go to the wheelchair entrance because he doesn't need the wheelchair all the time. He's able to do it, but after a long day, it becomes more difficult on his disabilities. But they said, you go to the line, walk up there, you tell the cast member that you need assistance in the line, that you're not able to stand there, and that they will get you the wheelchair. They will take you down the wheelchair ramp, and you'll wait in line, which is fine. And every ride will have this. So we get to our first ride. They're like, what?
Yeah.
And they had no idea what he was talking about. We go to the next ride. They had no idea. It was just hilarious, really. So at this point, we're kind of just like, okay, this is a wash. We went going in knowing that there was going to be some issues, but kind of was like not expecting this at all. So pretty much she went to having something that made it easy for our family to enjoy the parks, and to where it was very burdensome. At the first park we went to was Magic Kingdom, and they were giving out these pieces of paper as we walked in, this little flyer, and they said, now using FastPass Plus for everyone. So we kind of read it, but it was very confusing on how they had just started rolling out this process that week. And so for all guests, not just resorts or annual pass holders. And so we went up to the FastPass Plus, put them in. Of course, you can only get 3. And the cast member there told us, I kind of was interviewing him and asking him, I said, what is it that I told him what happened at guest services. He said, this place is a mess. That was what he said. And I go, well, we're trying to figure out the system. And he said, use the FastPass Plus. That is what they're using as the disability system. And I said, okay, that doesn't make very much sense. And so we went and we did the FastPass Plus on Magic Kingdom that day. We found that it was a mess, because by the time we got to it, most everything was gone. And we ended up walking much, much more than what we ever did, which caused a lot more injury to my husband. So it kind of was just not a good thing. So we said, let's calm down, let's wait on this, and let's try to figure this thing out. So that next day we didn't have anything. We had a down day. We ended up going to the beach. Well, so I did some research. Of course I'm calling Mandy and saying, yeah, I need you to figure this thing out.
It's crazy.
This is not making sense. So the next park that we go to was,
Did you go to Epcot?
Yeah, we went to Epcot. So we go to guest services at Epcot, and they say, unless we see a physical disability on you, you do not get any, or if we see a physical disability, you do not qualify for a disability pass.
What?
Makes no sense.
And also horribly unethical.
Yeah.
Horribly unethical.
And so because you can see the disease on my husband's head, he didn't qualify according to Epcot on that day. So we were kind of dumbfounded, but we were prepared, knowing how they do the FastPass Plus. So we said, let's take advantage of that and use that day. We were a little bit more prepared and was able to access that and use that. Because of the incident that I had with the birds.
Oh, goodness.
Check it out on another.
Yeah.
We ended up going to guest services that night and explaining what happened and was telling them about it. In the process, she was asking us if we use the FastPass Plus, and she was just asking us some questions. And when she was asking those things, she said, how was your experience today, blah, blah, blah. And so we proceeded to tell her, we said, it's very confusing. We were very kind about it because we wanted them to know, we understand you're working out the kinks. Right. We understand that you're working it out. But there has to be some continuity in between it all. It just wasn't making that much sense. It just was overwhelming. So she kind of helped us to go into what direction we needed to go into. We told her we were going to the parks one more day, and she kind of helped us. So the next day, well, we took another day off, and then the next day we went to Magic Kingdom again. And what happened there was totally opposite of every other day. He went in and said, went to go get the disability pass, and what ended up happening is they gave him one. It was crazy. But the problem with that is that nobody knew how to use it. The cast members were like, well, we think you do this. Well, we're supposed to sign. So I think only one ride signed it and told us to come back at a certain time. The rest just used it as the old disability pass. I mean, to where they let you in the handicapped access and
you went through
like a fast pass. So it was very, very confusing. It was hard to understand and hard to do. Because the two people that are in our family that have disability are adults, this is frustrating, but not life-changing.
Right.
To me, I was very upset, actually, for people with families. Our brother had special needs to where he had heart issues, and to where he actually we went when he was about 2 months after he had heart surgery, when he was about 8. So you don't really remember it.
Yeah, I was like 3.
But it was back, several years ago. But I remember people not being kind to him, and the issues that we had to face with him going on rides, and had to be super careful about the heat and different things. And I kept thinking of all the different families that, if you have a child with sensory issues waiting in those lines. Or I kept thinking about how if they had to sign your paper and you had to come up at a certain time, if the people that have trouble walking, that like in our family, you have to go somewhere, but there's not benches everywhere.
For our mom, that's not going to work. She is not going to be able to walk from Fantasyland to Frontierland to make the Fast Pass Plus time, which is what they suggest.
Yeah.
Using, it's not going to work, and she's going to miss out on being able to do and see as much,
right? Because
she's not going to be able to do all that. So, as Disney, was that? Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you did the part. Yeah. Anyways, so what I read, because after Leanne, when we decided as soon as she came back we wanted to do a video about this, I went ahead on Disney's website. I was like, I want to know on pen and paper, black and white, what they say, their official stances on the DAS system. And it's what they very first had told her. What they say, if you go to the Walt Disney website, and it wasn't easy to find either. I had to dig, I had to search within their website for disability access service, because they didn't have it as readily available, very easy to find. And it was basically, they had a whole list of, if you have physical disabilities, if you have sensory issues, if you're on the autism spectrum, and then they had a whole bunch of, like, if this is what your disability area is, this is what we suggest you do. And some of the things they suggested were, they have quiet areas where we know about these, but we haven't really used them.
Right.
That you can go, and if you have a child that has a sensory issue, you can take them there for a break. Kind of let them calm down, let them kind of bring themselves into composure, and then you can go back and do whatever you need to do. They also suggested they said how they have some different queue lines have the things where, like Winnie the Pooh, where you have things that you can do to keep you busy and active while you're waiting in line. Well, that's great, but that's not for they don't have that in all of them. Right. Like, if you're riding Space Mountain, you know that wait is not fun. And that's a lot of uphill, a lot of downhill, a lot of there's steps in it. And that's not going to work for everybody. So that's what Disney had on their website. They also had where you have to go to guest services, and then they'll give you the time, and then you'll come back. They had it on there about the wheelchair that they would have there, but as we know from experience, there was not a wheelchair there.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And they also had where you can rent the wheelchair from your parked car. Not rent it, but they have like these little cart thingies. So you could get your wheelchair, and then you take it up to the front. You can't take it into the park, but it's just to transport you from one place to another, which is nice. We actually had to use that with our mom at the Animal Kingdom, and it was really good. It was nice of them. But there's what I've kind of found through this and through reading other people's blogs and just information and experiences is it's change. It's going to progress. This is not what the DAS system is going to look like in a year. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
It changed just from day to day when they were there. And one of the people that we found that is really knowledgeable in this, and she has a really, really precious son, and they go to Disney a lot. I think they must live down there. But it's the Temporary Tourist. And we'll have her link to her Facebook page in our description of this video. But she is a great wealth of knowledge. So if you have family members, children, friends, we would suggest going to her, and we'll tag her so she can see this video too and give us her opinion on it. But she's even just recently went, and it's changed completely. So.
And actually, that's one of the things that the cast members kept telling me, and I felt bad for them.
Yeah.
Because they kept saying, "We're sorry, we just don't know. It changes every day," and it was kind of like they felt silly because they did not know what they're supposed to do. And so in that, everybody was just kind of winging it, and that's I hate that because I feel like your branding is that there's so much in the Disney Corporation. Everything's pretty the same, and you know what you can expect and get.
Yeah.
And that just is.
It's kind of tainted the Disney experience just a little bit. But is this the end of Disney for us?
Come on.
Clearly no. This is not the end of Disney for us. This is an aggravation.
Yeah.
It's a minor setback.
It was very frustrating the first day.
Yeah.
Extremely. But we had to figure it out.
What I think it's going to mean is if you are one of the people that like to go to the parks and wing it, you're probably not going to be able to do that anymore. You need to go in with a plan, with an idea of where you want to go, what you want to do in your Fast Plus system plan.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And it definitely is something that to where you can plan it out. We did it. We planned out. We're wing it people. I mean, we have a general plan, but it's kind of like what we feel like or what what we need to do. But we had to plan, and that kind of put a damper on things. But we learned how to use it, so we were a little smarter. And they were nice about letting us. If we missed a Fast Pass Plus, it's a mouthful.
I know, right?
Time we were able to redo it, but otherwise. Just keep checking back.
Yeah. Don't not go or be afraid to go because it might be just plan.
And you may want to plan an extra day at your favorite park because
you want to allow yourself more time.
Yeah, you want to allow yourself more time.
All right.
I think that's all for today.
Yep. Stay tuned for next time and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Give us that thumbs up and like it. I think we're doing really good. You guys are awesome and great.
Yeah.
Thanks for your support.
And share the videos. Let your friends know.
All right. Until next time. Have a magical day.